When you first became the CEO, what was that question that kicked off all those 50,000 complaints or criticisms?
It's not the complaints and criticisms. We changed the way we interacted with our employees. Instead of waiting for the employee to raise it to the manager, we created a trouble-taking system where he could open any concerns he has. And it could be 100 different types of concerns. The moment we opened the system, we discovered there were actually 50,000 unresolved concerns in the minds of the employees, which we did not know. And that was a new discovery for us.
And did it come across strange when you actually celebrated that, oh my goodness, all these problems have arisen? How did the people around you take it that you were actually excited to hear all these problems?
No, I celebrated because I thought that we have discovered a way of solving 50,000 undiscovered problems. And once I put these 50,000 problems and solve them and put them behind, employees will be happy. And what I missed the point is, if we are a company in 2005 which had 50,000 problems, it must be a real shit place. And that, sometimes some very obvious things miss you. And that's the point I was making in my conversation, that you have to be careful about how you look at data. Right? It may present to you in an interesting way, and you may miss the obvious thing.
You're promoting a lot of transparency, especially with the managers. You do a lot of 360 reviews. Is it easy to get managers to be keen to do 360 reviews? Are there objections that come up when you first suggested those?
I think you're asking the wrong question. Are managers interested in growing faster than the others? The answer is yes. If by exposing their 360 degree and sharing their 360 degree with the employees, they can grow faster, will they do it? The answer is yes. If you ask it in the reverse order, are managers interested in sharing their 360 degree with the employees? The answer is no. So you have, if it is for a purpose which the managers are interested in, yeah, they will do whatever it takes.
You've also mentioned a lot about, because I get a feeling of there's a lot of, you should be humble and you should understand that you're not going to know everything. How are you learning from, you mentioned a lot of times Gen Ys have a lot of answers. What is the main thing you've taken from maybe a Gen Y mindset that's helped your company?
I think Gen Y mindset is more inquisitive than I was. And that's very important because they question a lot of things which we take as obvious. And because they question a lot of things and they are obnoxious about questioning them, you discover new truths and new answers just because they're persistent in their questions. Number two is Generation Y don't take you on face value. They need to be convinced with data point. And therefore it gets our Communication Act in place. So that means you have to think first and you have to get the data right, and then you have to communicate to get the Gen Y in. And the third part of Gen Y is they can do 6 to 7 things simultaneously, and therefore the company is a lot more exciting place. It's not just a boring IT services company. It's a music company, it's a band company, it's all kinds of creative work which goes on. So it's a very interesting company.
Well, I guess that brings me to the last question. I think it's pretty cheeky, a little provocative. You've tinkered with what really what a CEO's role is. And you've kind of hinted on, I was looking through your blog, the question as to what would happen if I wasn't even in the company, if just the CEO was pulled out. You're growing in that question. Do you have any opinion about what would happen if you were just pulled out of the company?
I think it'll grow faster, and which is the point I made, that the spider and the starfish concept is very, very important, that the organization has to grow without a head. And that way the transfer of responsibility is faster and more. And I do believe that the longer CEOs stay, the staler they become, and they have to reinvent themselves and get into new purpose and new direction. And that's the only way the company will keep re-innovating itself. And one way of re-innovating yourself is to make yourself redundant so that you have a starfish organization which is running on its own, and the CEO is not the most important person in the organization. Thank you.